Welcome to Unofficial Commentary by the Unqualified. I am Adam. So, we're going to talk about the Tucker Carlson debacle, kerfuffle, complete failure to be a decent human being. Let's go with that one. That's a nice one. Complete failure to be a decent human being. So, let me just catch you up to speed on what's going on with this. If you haven't been watching the news, or if you have been watching the news and want to hear someone else say it, here's what's going on. So, everyone knew Tucker Carlson has a very small penis. And he's a prick. All of the dick that he has is in his personality, not in his actual penis. So, he goes on Bubba the Love Sponge, as one would do if they have a small penis. They go on, and they talk about all kinds of cool things that, aren't possibly loaded topics designed to catch him in a trap or make him look stupid. Because that was the indication I got from this, is that Bubba the Love Sponge, who is the host of the show, wanted to get him trapped as a conservative commentator. He wanted to trap him in and get him to say these things. It's kind of like an entrapment kind of thing. And then Tucker Carlson's like, no. Let me be the biggest douche I can. And he turns it up to 11. He talks about things like how it's okay, and how as long as it's not his daughter, it's okay to think about young teenage girls sexually experimenting with each other. He talks about how he had a certain... He wanted to fuck. Let's just put it out there. He wanted to fuck Miss Teen USA. He called, who did he call a cunt? He called someone a cunt, and then went on a tirade about how when Samantha Bee called Ivanka a cunt, you can't use that word. Let me give you my personal opinions on the word cunt. I like using it because it's it's kind of like you crank it up to 11 really quickly, and it's a fun one to get responses from people. So he makes a big deal about calling Ivanka one, and he called, I forgot who, he called someone one. So there's that. There's the him calling the country of Iran a bunch of primitive monkeys. There's just a list. There's just a laundry list. So rightfully people are upset, saying that why is Fox giving him time on their network. And this is the worst thing to come out of the week, that Jeanine Pirro says, that saying that wearing a hijab is against the Constitution. Which, as a former judge, she should know the First Amendment, the Free Exercise Clause. Everyone has the right to exercise their religion in their way. Her comment goes against the Constitution, but that's neither here nor there. That comment got eclipsed very quickly because of Tucker Carlson's repeated, it was 3 separate tapes that came out of him just going off, off the cuff, completely, almost completely unwarranted, too. It's like he's giving unsolicited opinions on things, and it's like, maybe you shouldn't do that. He's defending child rapists. It's not a good situation. He's giving the same defenses of a child rapist that he gives to Trump, which tells you a lot. So, this happens, and now he's going on a vacation. Completely planned vacation. This was planned weeks ago, and all of a sudden, this coming out had no impact on that. He's just going out on vacation. Which I think the problem is, I think what's going to happen here is Fox is going to hope something blows over while he's on vacation, because the group that put this out, Media Matters, I think that Fox is banking on the fact that Media Matters and Tucker Carlson and Jeanine Pirro and all these other conservative commentators have virtually no overlap in target audience. So they're just hoping it's just going to blow over and people are going to ignore it after a while. That's why they're sending them on vacation, which works. It's not a terrible idea. It's not a good idea. It's not the worst idea they could have come up with. So that's happening. So last night, Judd Ludlam, I think his name is, on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. He put out a list and said, well, who is still advertising on Tucker Carlson's broadcast last night, his last one before he went on vacation. And the only major company, AstraZeneca pulled out, IHOP pulled out, Outback Steakhouse pulled out, all these things that, except for a few other things, like Bayer was the only major brand still advertising. So there are boycotts of Bayer being planned, and there are boycotts of other things. Now, here's the problem, okay? The other things that are advertising, MyPillow, and things like that, are MyPillow, Super Beta Prostate, things like that. They're not going to be impacted by a boycott by the left, because I'm more socialist than, I used to be, but I'm very left-leaning. I don't use prostate supplements, despite what I got asked while I was at work one time about which one I recommended based on my own personal use. I don't use prostate supplements. I'm not old enough to need that, and if I did, I probably wouldn't buy one advertised on TV with the commercials that are airing on Fox News. I would probably get something prescribed from my doctor if I had an issue that required that kind of medication, because that's what a normal person does, and not go to some over-the-counter thing that they need to, pick up there. Or like not having to buy like a Rectidol, which is my guy asked me if we have it, and I was like, that sounds completely made up. But so this is all happening. And MyPillow, people who already weren't going to buy MyPillows, and people who did have MyPillows, who now found out after the fact that the owner of MyPillow is like a cult leader with, like, he had a divine experience watching Trump come down the escalator to announce his candidacy for president. They already have the MyPillow. You can destroy the MyPillow, but what does he care? He got the money for the MyPillow. He's done. It's like people who were buying the Nikes to destroy them after after Kaepernick was sponsoring Nike. It's like, they have your money. They don't give a shit what you do with it once you once you buy it. That's not their problem. It's like they got your money, and you weren't going to buy it initially, so they got more money than they would have. Which, now that's the next problem with the MyPillow, is that you can buy the MyPillow to destroy it, but they're still getting the money, so what do they care? Which is why I had an idea this morning. One of those shower thoughts, if you will. Why don't people boycott the companies that sell these things? Because they're infomercial products that are there, and another way that they get people to view and eventually buy their product is through retail space allocation that allows them to see the product in a physical store. So places like, say, Kohl's, which sells the MyPillow, Walmart, which sells the MyPillow, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Walmart, all sell Super Beta Prostate. Target, I believe, sells the MyPillow, but I think they might be not anymore because they have Casper as a national contract. But if these places were boycotted, if these places were having an impact in either their net promoter score from people saying they weren't going to shop there anymore because they carry the MyPillow, people saying they're not going to shop there anymore because they carry Super Beta Prostate, then maybe that would cut into the sales a little bit more, because people don't just buy things based on the commercial and they call in and do that. They buy them in the store. They go, oh, let me buy that now, let me do that now. So here's what I'm saying, okay? Here's my idea, okay? This is gonna sound like bitchy, but look, it's gonna have a negative impact for some people, but he needs to be off the air. Jeanine Pirro, Hannity, they need to lose their spot to pontificate. Laura Ingraham, they can't be on TV for a 4-hour block every day, spewing hate, spewing vitriol, and all in the name of patriotism, which is sickening. And to do this, what I'm saying is, go to your local Target. Go to your local Walmart. CVS, Walgreens, Kohl's. Every single receipt is going to have a little survey on it that's going to tell you what the the thing is about. Like, how is our service today? How is our service today? I feel like if everyone gives low ratings and says they're not going to shop there anymore until they stop carrying the MyPillow, the super beta prostate, the Jenny Craig, Bayer, all of these things, then they're going to have to put pressure on them from an outside source to get rid of putting ad time on Fox News. And that's the only way to combat this. Voting with your wallet. Okay? Because there's nothing that Bayer does that can't be done by another company. Like Coricidin, there are store brand generics of Coricidin. There's no other name brand equivalent of Coricidin for high blood pressure, but there are store brand equivalents of Coricidin. Alka-Seltzer Plus, you can get Alka-Seltzer Plus. You can get anything else that can do the same thing, be it for stomach problems or for cold and flu. Aspirin is the generic. Like, you can get Aleve is the Bayer brand, but if you need aspirin, you can get naproxen sodium, you can get aspirin, you can get, if it's just for a headache or anything like that. I personally have used acetaminophen, Tylenol products, and Advil products interchangeably. So, there are other options out there. And we just have to explore these options. Consult a pharmacist, consult a doctor. Don't just listen to some podcaster who has a BA in political science and listen to him and say, he's telling me what kind of medication to take. No. Consult someone who knows something about medication first to see what's good for you. I know acetaminophen can have issues with your liver, and I know if you've had certain surgeries and you can't, or if you're on blood thinners, you can't take Advil or ibuprofen because it's an NSAID, and you consult with someone, not just listen to my word on it. But this is the time to take a stand and say that we will not stand for giving this amount of airtime to hate. And it's pure hate. It's not even commentary about hate. It's not even thinly veiled hate. It is outright lies and hate. And this is the best way to do it. And I know I only have a few listeners, but if everyone were to go out there and tell someone we're not going to do this until we get results, then that's how we should do this. So go to the store. If they have the product, do the little survey. Say you're not going to give them a low score. Say we're not going to shop here anymore until you get rid of this product, and then don't shop there anymore. There are plenty of alternatives to Walmart, to Target, you can go to your supermarkets. Supermarkets tend not to carry this stuff. There are options. There are plenty of options, and they should be explored. Because if they're going to get money from companies that condone hate, then why are we going to shop there? So, that's where we'll end for today. So yeah, we'll be back next week with another episode.